Yes, sir. So here it is, man. I ain't do the video last night. And you got some people talking about I'm dodging. Come on, man. It's me. Come on, when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm right, I'm right, man. I don't never dodge, man. Some fans telling me, talking about, oh, do the Missouri versus Georgia reaction. You scared like this. Like, hey, I admit, like, Georgia ain't playing the best football past 2 weeks. But look, though, it is what it is. I mean, because guess what? The way I look at it, I mean, Georgia won that championship, they will last year. But at the same time, guess what? Last year, when Ohio State and Alabama were struggling, people were still saying they the best team. So, man, think about it. Ohio State, if Nebraska kicker played like Missouri kicker did last night, Nebraska probably upsets Ohio State. Just being real, because Nebraska kicker missed like 3 to 4 field goals, and Ohio State won by like 7 or 8 points. Versus you had Missouri kicker who missed the game-winning field goal from against Auburn. And then every night we got to play Auburn again. Auburn gonna probably play us tough too. I'm gonna have a score prediction on that too. But either way, he missed a game-winning field goal against Auburn. So this game was emotional. As I don't know what for Missouri. Georgia come out, flat. And you have this Missouri kicker who gave Missouri 12 points? I mean, Missouri scored a touchdown. No, they had scored 1 touchdown off the one-handed catch. That was a blown up play, a bad, miss, a good play, but a wrong red play by Chris Smith. I think Chris Smith he jumped down to the screen and they went slipped around for a wide touchdown. Good play by them. But Missouri kicker made I think it was a 48 or a 46, a 55, and a 52. Like, dude was, bruh, I ain't gonna lie. I feel like, only thing, like, I wasn't scared about the game. In the first, I was just disappointed, because I was like, man, come on, man. Like, bro, y'all doing the same. I was more disappointed, because he did the same thing. Like, Stetson Bennett, somehow he fumbled the ball. Missouri got the ball and field. Like, you can't fumble the ball and give a team automatic field goal range. Like, if you're going to turn the ball over, at least let them drive 65, 70 yards. Like, you turn the ball over and they automatic in field goal range. They only got to go 30 yards to score a touchdown. Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that, man. So I was more disappointed. And I just, I wasn't scared. I was like, because I didn't feel like Georgia's going to lose the game. It was for a split moment, like, oh, man, looking too good. But it was more like, it was just, Missouri just had all momentum. And Georgia was letting them get momentum. Because you had, first start off, first position, I think Larry McConkey dropped the pass. I was like, oh, man, here it go. Like, oh, man, here it go. And, they get the point. They punt the ball. And then we get the ball back. Kendall Milton, second possession of the game. Fumble the ball. And it was like, oh, man, here it go. Like, oh, man, here it go. Not again. Then they kick the field goal. They go up 3-0. Then, I think, what it was, Stetson Bennett, I think the next possession, got the ball back, driving the field. Then Stetson Bennett fumbled. Then it went up I think they went up 10-0. That when they had the, the one-head catch, I think. They went up 10-0, and they was like, oh, man. Like, come on, right? And it was like, that jinx was, I had to feel out like, I said 30-10 on my prediction. I said 30-10, I think. And I said Georgia offense going to take it easy. I was like, I didn't know what was going on. It's like they were trying to do some new stuff against Missouri like they did against Kent State. And it's like, instead of just winning the game, it's like they trying to do off-ball stuff. And I don't know, because at the same time, it's like, Kirby is smart. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to develop some leadership, before we go into Tennessee and Kentucky and them, play them bigger games. That's what I'm thinking. Because it's like, dude was more mad. Like, he was getting on the team more in the first 3 weeks. Like, versus Oregon, Samford, he was going crazy. Like, Georgia was winning 28 to something. 30 to 0. He was still going bananas. And then South Carolina, we was up 40. Like, he was more mad when South Carolina scored that last touchdown, or whatever. I ain't gonna say that he was mad, cause I mean he was more like, David Daniel, he was just tough. But he was more mad in those first 3 games than he has been the last 2 games. And it's something to think about. Like, I don't know if Kirby Smart letting the players decide, like, who gonna be step up, who gonna be the leaders, who gonna lead the team or whatever. And like, I mean, Brock Bowers came out and said, I don't know if it's true or not, but he came out and said, like, there was no doubt none of them felt like they was gonna lose the game, And Darnell Washington came out and said, I want to run the dang ball, get behind me, and I'm gonna move people. And that way, quote from Darnell Washington, what he said. So it's like, I don't know if Georgia's trying to win a certain way, win a certain way, create physicality, win physicality or something before, the big game. Because at the same time, it's like it was frustrating for me to watch. Like, even when we was down, it's like, we was playing with no urgency. Like, it feel like, I knew we could have run up the score, but it seemed like, it was like we was hurting ourselves. Like, we was helping Missouri, because, like, I don't know, like I said, it was a live game. The crowd, like I said, Georgia, they didn't help themselves at all. They kept Missouri in the game, and they kept the crowd alive for 4 quarters. When Larry McConkey dropped the pass, and then, all that, then the fumble, back-to-back fumbles, I think. And it was like, oh my goodness, like Missouri is like winning 16 to, I think it was 13-3, 16-6. So, it was like, yeah, all momentum. Game was live. And not only was the game live, we hiking the ball with 1 or 2 seconds on the clock. Like, you can't do that. Like, you hurting yourselves, man. Like, I don't know why they got to go back and change. Like, I don't know what the word, like I said, I don't know if the game was live. Like, the game was very loud one day. So I don't know if the players couldn't hear each other. And Missouri was sending a lot of blitzes and all that. And it's like every single time, like Georgia, even when Georgia was losing, I think it was like what? Georgia was losing like 19, I can't remember, it was 19-11, I think, or something like that, 19-12. Like, Georgia was still going slow. Like still hiking the ball with like 7 seconds left, 5 seconds left. And Tyron Hooper, I didn't even know he was on Missouri, and Joseph Charleston. I mean, like I said, I'm like these transfer portals and I'm probably do a video about this too, but the transfer portals and the extra COVID make teams, hard to manage, dog. Like, you got James Madison out here, overseeing the expectations, because they probably got like a lot of 5th year and 6th year seniors. But either way, like Sam Hartman, I think he's a 6 years, like very experienced quarterback since been in 6 years, Robert Beard Jr., But either way, but yeah, I'm like, bro, they hiking the ball with 3 to 2 seconds left. And that's a disadvantage to your offensive line. Like, if I'm a defensive player and I'm coming at you, like multiple times they jump the snap, and then the offensive line put at a disadvantage. Multiple times. That's what I was mainly, it was 3 things I was mainly mad about. I'll say about 3 or 4. About 4 things. It was, like I said, that was one of them. We hiking the ball with 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock. For some reason at all, I don't know why. And another thing, that's how I feel like Kirby Smart wasn't really worried. Cause it's like Georgia was still going slow. Like, we down by double digits and we still hiking the ball, late, and just playing with no urgency to get the lead back. Cause it's like Kirby would feel like he was up by 30 right now or something. So that's why it's hard to judge right now. And no excuses. Georgia ain't playing the best football right now, past 2 weeks. But at the same time, I mean, the Oregon win helping Georgia out right now. Like I said, and I was going to make a video about Ohio State probably right after this one, after I get done working out, if I feel like it. Maybe Tuesday, I don't know. Either way, Georgia fine, though. I look at it like, I mean, it ain't no real, I don't want to spoil it. But like I said, Georgia fine. I mean, like I said, Missouri came to play. Georgia didn't. I mean, and like I say, that was Georgia floor. You know, the past 2 weeks has been Georgia floor. And like I say, if Georgia plays like that, you know, for the rest of the season, they're gonna lose 2 games. I don't think they're gonna lose 3. Cause, you know, like I say, you know, Kentucky still gotta score the ball. You know, Anthony Richardson, he still gotta, he scored a, you know, it is, like I say, maybe 2 games. And the games I'm worried about is probably, like I say, Mississippi State. I already said I was worried about Mississippi State later in the season, you know. And like I say, Tennessee. But even though Tennessee didn't play their best football against Florida either, you know, they still had like 3 turnovers. I think Florida had 4. You know, so I mean, they got their own problems too in their defense. You know, Anthony Richardson threw for like 1,000 yards. So like I say, we don't really know. The season got to be played. And furthermore, like Pittsburgh just lost to Georgia Tech after they just fired their coach. And West Virginia, I don't know what to say about West Virginia. You know, Texas just, you know, mollywopped them. You know, so West Virginia up and down. So we don't, like I said, these games, it's just hard to tell right now. You know, and like I say, Michigan State, and like I say, and I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it in this video, because the next video, like I say, gonna be by Ohio State. But it's gonna be, you know, I don't want to spoil it, but it's just know it's just gonna be a Big Ten team who fired their coach today. You know, and we're gonna get about Ohio State. You know, either way, it's a bad video about Georgia versus Missouri. You know, but like I say, the O-line made me mad. The O-line, the first half, first 3 quarters, was playing. I don't know what to say. But like I say, all at the same time, hiking the ball with 2 to 3 seconds left, and the defensive linemen and blitzing safeties and linebackers could look up at the clock. And time to snap is not helping the team at all either. But O-line was weak. The pass rush was weak. I don't know what the world wrong with, you know. Like I say, you know, Nolan Smith and Robert Bill Jr. got to step up. That's all too. They got to step up. And McKelvey all them. You know, 3. Keely Ringo, man. Keely Ringo. I mean, he ain't got tested all year. But he ain't had the best game last night. You know, and 4. We got to stop turning the ball over. Like, we turned the ball over 2 times. And we had opportunities to get turned over. You know, Jamon Dumas-Johnson dropped interception. Chris Smith ran the Malachi starts. But we got 2 turnovers in field goal range for the other team. We got 0 turnovers. And it was a good game, you know, for Missouri. Like, you know, I look at it like, they had all momentum. Georgia didn't play good at all. I ain't gonna say no excuses. You know, they deserve to be second, you know, behind Alabama. Which they, you know what, I predicted. You know, I said it. I was like, Alabama come out and beat Arkansas by double digits, and Georgia come out flat versus Missouri. Like, when they did, they gonna be second, you know. It what it is though. But like I said, and Missouri opened up their playbook. Like, Luther Burden went from like 3 targets a game, like 2 to 3 targets a game. The rumors he gonna enter the transfer portal. Then they played Georgia. The final week, he you know, he deleted everything. He got like 12 targets, I think, 11. Like, he got 10, 11 targets. No, he got hit real hard. One play in the stomach. Like, he got folded. I can't remember who hit him. I think it was Chris Smith. Yeah, hit him in the stomach. He got you know. Jamon Dumas-Johnson had a good game. Outside of that big play he gave up, allowed, you know, he got the wrong gap, you know, and then messed up. But Malachi starts, man. Like he saved the game. And Malachi starts had probably the play of the game, because most players would have just gave up. But he kept on running. He kept on running and saved the touchdown. Now, that's like what Keely Ringo in the national championship, when Cam Latu, he missed the ball. Cam Latu run to the sideline, and instead of getting up a touchdown, Keely Ringo tackled him, and Bama had to settle for a field goal. That was the play of the game. Well, probably the play of the game for the national championship beside A.D. Mitchell. AD Mitchell touchdown catch. That's what gave me hope again in that championship. AD caught that pass. But that Keely Ringo touchdown saved all momentum for Alabama. And that touchdown for saving touchdown versus for Malachi Starks saved the day too. Because Missouri would have been, if dude ran all the way back, Missouri would have been, the stadium would have blew up. It would have been so loud. And Malachi Starks allowed them to score 3 instead of 7. Or 6 or 7 if he made a field goal. But I feel like the kicker would have made a 100-yard field goal that night. But I've seen the defense, Tyreke Smith bad, Javon Bullock, he got a DUI. He didn't even make the trip last night. And like I said, what makes me mad the most is Eric Gilbert, man. I made the natty prediction by Georgia gonna repeat. Right now, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Georgia gonna make the playoff, I'm pretty sure. But I made my predictions because I thought that Eric Gilbert was ready. I thought he was gonna play. I thought we was gonna have Darnell Washington, Eric Gilbert, and Brock Bowers just eating. And Eric Gilbert played 2 games. Say some of my personal reasons. I don't know what's going on, but dude, that was the type of game where we needed him. Because AD Mitchell, he didn't play the past 2 games. He didn't play versus Kansas State. He didn't play versus Missouri. And his presence not being there is big. Aaron Smith, he coming back. He played Saturday, last night. But he not real Aaron Smith. He made a big catch, like 11-yard catch or something, on the 3rd down, But he's not 100, really, really ready, to play 25, 30 snaps yet, But, Jalen Carter, he got hit out. He got knocked out the game on that chip block, in the ankle. I think it said it's a sprain. Hopefully we get him back right before we play to Florida. And Smile Monday, he got hurt. The first 2 possessions of the game, I think he hurt his ankle too. He ain't come back in. But nonetheless, Missouri can't play. Georgia didn't. But like I say, great teams find a way to win, we just ain't dominating, but that's probably for the better right now, because I hate for us to smack around, all these teams, and then play bad against Florida and play bad against Tennessee or Kentucky or Mississippi State late in the season, and get shocked before going to Atlanta, But it's just a fact that Georgia dominated Kent State, beat Kent State 55-3. And it was like, okay. And then scrub against Missouri, like, all right. But it's just the fact that we, look bad against Kent State, came into Missouri, and look bad again. Kansas City just beat Tampa Bay Buccaneers 41-31. Mahomes did a crazy play where he spent around and threw it to Clyde Edwards. Either way, Falcons got to do it against the Browns. Saints probably gonna draft a new quarterback. I think the Saints might tank the season. I had the Saints, having a good year, but they might tank for C.J. Stroud. I don't know. Chris Olave already there. Michael Thomas. Either way, yeah, Georgia, man. Georgia fine. Am I happy? No. Like I said, am I happy with Georgia performance? No, not at all. But like I say, in my next Ohio State video, me by Ohio State. But no, it what it is, man. We undefeated. A lot of teams not. Just keep on winning. That's all that matter. Because the way I look like it, if Georgia wins the national championship, nobody's going to care about what they did against Kent State or Missouri or all the other games. They win by 1 point against Kentucky, win by 1 point against Tennessee, win by 1 point against, Vanderbilt. I ain't going to say that. They only beat Vanderbilt by 21 points. And Vanderbilt, if Georgia only beats Vanderbilt 41-21, none of that matter if Georgia wins the national championship. I mean, because think about it. If last year Alabama won that championship, none of us would have cared about when they lost to Texas A&M, beat Florida by 2, struggle against Arkansas, you know, struggle against Auburn, you know, like winning like 10 overtimes, you know, struggled against LSU. None of that would have mattered if Alabama won that championship. So think about it. It don't matter if Georgia win that championship. But I'm not saying, you know, we ain't on the level we should be playing right now. I admit, you know. But nobody is. And that's gonna be my video about Ohio State. But time to get some game though. Y'all stay blessed.